What's up, Army? Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for choosing to share this space with me. I hope you're doing well. And if not, I hope there's something in this message for you. I actually have a part two to the last reading. I've told you guys before that sometimes after I finish a reading, I'll keep getting pieces of the message. And today at work, I was driving and just kept getting more pieces to the message. And the thing is, it's a lot like the last time that this happened, that I had to point something out, that it was not, the message was not speaking to the protector, it was speaking to the bully. It's a lot like that. Um, but this is more like I don't know how else to say it. It's like Darth Vader versus Yoda. You know, in the beginning of the last message, I said it was like over my head. Like these people are like, they're like battling in the ethers. You have this person who's using the force for evil, right? Using mind tricks to get people to bend to their will. And then you have another person who's trying to counteract that, or another person who also knows how to use the force and knows how to use um, Jedi mind tricks, right? But uses it for good. And in the last reading, we got I pulled the cards. These are the only cards that I remembered. I didn't rewatch it I rewatched part of it, but I couldn't see the top card that these were clarifying, and I didn't. I needed to get on here and just get this out. We had Temperance, the Devil, the Queen of Wands, and the Lovers. And the way Spirit was showing me this is like the Temperance and the Devil are fighting over the Queen of Wands. And where in the last reading it was the devil using this person, this woman, this image, this ideal that they're using to triangulate other women and saying that that is their ex and you're not her. Like they're using it in this disgusting triangulating way. So on one hand you have that, but on the other hand there's somebody that's looking at this person as the ideal and looking at other people and seeing that they don't compare, but they're not they're not being malicious about it. It's the same phrase. I'm getting the same phrase for both sides. You're not hurt. Except there's somebody who's saying, no, you're not her. Like they only want one person and they're not interested in entertaining other people to triangulate them and make them feel like shit for not being her. They only want her. Whereas this other person either can't get her or doesn't even actually want her, but they're still using her to triangulate other women and make other women feel like shit. Am I making sense? It's very much past my bedtime. So, a spirit needed me to emphasize the difference, using the force for good, using the force for evil. And these two masculine energies, they seem to be in this spiritual battle over somebody. You know, I've been picking up on these two masculines for a long time, for years. I feel like it's been like the chronicles of these two masculines on this channel. This devil energy has come across in so many different ways. They've come across with different titles. Gollum, freaking troll looking, weird looking motherfucker energy. This guy has come out in so many different ways, always triangulating women or a woman, always always cocky, always arrogant, always following the dark side. And then this other masculine that seems to always be in love, always for love, always standing for the truth and justice. And while I could be following a very specific story, and if I am following a very specific story between two masculines, I gotta ask you guys, are you done yet? Have you figured it out? But if this is not a very specific story, then this is simply the challenge between light and shadow. And these examples are two are the two extremes. This temperance energy, this Yoda energy. I even picked up on that. I don't even know how long ago it was that it was this masculine energy that was literally taking notes from Yoda. Literally. And it's such a beautiful energy. And this other masculine, like I feel like I know the two of them so well because I feel like I've been reading them for such a long time. To the point that I can recognize this energy in people that don't even know they carry it. I can see it. Sometimes I can smell it. It's in their words. It's in the energy between their words. It's in what their face says and their mouth doesn't. It's also in what their mouth says because they they tend to think they're being so smart. And they're very showy. But to them, they're not being showy. To them, they're being humble. To them, they're showing the world what a good person they are, showing the world how great they are. Look how great I am, like publicizing all their great works. But what do they call that? Isn't that like the definition of virtue signaling, right? These are the people that help the homeless and record it. That do virtuous things, but they need everybody to know about it. It's like, ooh, your shadow's showing. I see this everywhere. And once again, I am not trying to say that I'm perfect. I'm not. And I know that there's times that this guy probably even comes out at me or from me that other people see that I don't. But what I don't see all the time is this guy. The one that isn't trying to manipulate anybody. The one that isn't trying to triangulate anybody. The one that is loyal and loving and honest. The one that is not trying to showboat in any way. They're just being themselves. That's a little harder to come by than this guy. But these two examples that I'm getting, sorry, you were just scratching it. Just, oh my god, it just feels so good. I don't think I have a mosquito bite, but that scratch felt like I do. All right. I'm sorry. It's so crazy because it's like I came on here and I knew what I was going to say, but once I started talking, it just switched up. It's like the message was coming through so forcefully. Almost like the last time I needed to make it clear to the protector that spirit was not calling them out. They were calling the bully out. And it's like the way the last message came out, that whole, it's not her part. Spirit is telling me to emphasize the fact that there is a flip side and there is somebody who is like looking at other people and saying you're not her, but in the most loving way for her, if that makes any sense. And it's like, now that I'm talking, it's really, it's transforming, because it felt very specific. It felt like a battle between two specific masculines. But now that I'm talking, it's like, it could be a battle between two very specific masculines. They're like fighting over a feminine, and one is abusing the connection and the other one is cherishing the connection. And it's like they're in this battle to prove, or to like make her choose. And this devil energy is using all of his evil mind tricks to force her to choose, because he knows the reality is that this feminine energy chooses peace. So he knows that this other energy that he's battling with, it's not even a battle. The only reason it's a battle is because he's making it a battle. And if he were to just stand back and let nature take its course, this temperance energy would win every day. And he knows that. And that's why he puts up the fight. That's why he tries his mind games. That's why he does the manipulation. That's why he baits her and tries to keep her mind fucked. Because as long as he keeps her in that state, as far away from peace as possible, then she won't see this other energy. He knows that. He knows he already lost. He knows he does not compare to this temperance energy, this strong, balanced, beautiful masculine. He knows he doesn't compare to that energy. But he's trying to fake it. He knows he hasn't done the work, but he's trying to pretend like he has. Because he's so insecure, so afraid to put down the mask, so afraid to drop the mind tricks, because he doesn't think that he's anything without them. He thinks he needs the mind tricks to get anybody, and then keeps them at arm's length so they don't really ever see who he really is. And this energy that he's, this other masculine that he's trying to battle, that he's trying to say, no, she wants me, not you. She wants me, not you. It's bullshit. He knows it's bullshit, but he needs to believe that. He knows that this feminine energy that they're fighting over is just as balanced and perfectly matched with this other balanced masculine energy. He knows that, but he doesn't want to give up control. It's that Gollum energy. I told you, I've been channeling this motherfucker for a very long time. And he just won't give up the fight. He just won't admit that his way doesn't work. He just won't admit that he's full of shit. So instead of admitting it, he's torturing this other masculine and this feminine at the same time, just to keep them apart, just to prove a point. instead of just healing himself and finding his own match. No, that would be too difficult. I was going to say that would be too easy, but healing isn't easy, and this motherfucker knows that. Some people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention. It's easier for this person to play the victim. It works better for them. And he just keeps playing games with this other masculine and this feminine instead of just letting it go. Like, bro, you lost. So there's that very specific storyline that I've been channeling for a very long time. But we can take a higher perspective on it. We can look at it on a larger scale. So it applies to more people than just these two masculines. We can look at it on a larger scale, where this feminine energy stays trapped in this devil masculine energy, or trapped by this devil masculine energy, as long as she lives in denial about him. As long as she continues to make excuses for his behavior, as long as she refuses to see the red flags and see him for exactly who he is, hoping, wishing, and praying he'll turn into this. But he doesn't, because all he knows is lies and empty promises. This is the kind of person that holds on to a woman just so nobody else can have her. This is the kind of person that doesn't think anybody's worth changing for. Always jealous of these energies. And this feminine energy wants this, but can't find her way out of this web of lies. And the only way out of this web of lies is to heal. Heal the parts of you that are drawn to this. That think this is love. But the more you heal and you learn to love yourself and respect yourself and treat yourself the way you've always wanted somebody else to treat you, and spoil yourself and pamper yourself and speak nicely to yourself, the more you do that, the more you can see what these types of energies and people are doing. And I say that all the fucking time. This is not breaking news. I say it all the time. And when you do that, then you can see this. You can recognize a person who's balanced versus a person who isn't. You can feel it on them. You can You can see the difference between lust and love, between where you can recognize attachment, that desperation for somebody to choose you that we talked about in the last reading. With this, it's easy, it flows, it clicks, it makes sense. It's not insecure, it's not constantly questioning, it just knows. It's a knowing. And this isn't just balanced between light and dark. This is balanced between masculine and feminine energy. Part man, part woman, all angel. Finding your divinity is not just about balancing your light and your shadow. I know I've said that before. Finding your divinity is balancing your masculine and feminine energy. Your masculine light self and your masculine shadow self. Your feminine light self and your feminine shadow self. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You have all four of these aspects. People think they just have a shadow. But you have a masculine shadow and a feminine shadow. They both need to be healed. They both need to be looked at. They both need to be balanced. Because you can say, I am a woman and I have balanced my light and my dark. Why am I still attracting toxic men? Well, have you looked at your masculine shadow? Have you looked at your masculine wounding? People say, I am an empress. I am an emperor. But do you realize the goal is to be both the emperor and the empress? To master your own king and queen of wands, your own king and queen of cups, your own king and queen of swords, and your own king and queen of pentacles. If you're only looking at mastering your empress side or your emperor side, you're only doing half the job. So, zoomed out from this very specific dueling masculines, I'm getting the dueling banjos again, that I hope they have figured it out by now, because Jesus Christ, guys. Zooming out of that into a larger perspective. Are you using the force for good, or are you using the force for evil? The force is our God-given power, our power of manifestation, our power of knowing, our spark, the God force that runs through all of us. Are you using it for good or evil? People think that it is I was gonna say people think that it's more difficult to be good. And it is. It is. And the world that we live in, it is. Or it can be. It's easy to be an asshole. Fit right in. I'd love to say that at the end of the day, there's no right and there's no wrong. Because I don't necessarily believe that there's a judge and jury when we die. But I do think that we have to face what we've done. I think that um uh, it's just I'm trying to just say this so simply, but there's so many different belief systems out there. There's so many different perspectives that can be taken. And I'm talking about outside of the perspective of religion. You start bringing religion into it and you go down a whole nother rabbit hole, you know? But it's like, where does the sense of morals come from? Where does the idea of treating people with kindness come from? I don't know. This is just I don't know where I'm going with that. Because it's like, how much of it is programming, and is it all programming? I don't have the answers. I just know that I feel better when I'm not angry all the time. And I feel better when I'm not resentful. And I feel better when I'm not hurting anybody. And I feel better when I'm not hurting myself. Does that mean it's the right way to do things? Does that mean there's a right and a wrong? I don't know. I don't know that there is. I just know what feels better. I know that I've been on I mean, I've never been a manipulative, malicious person, but I've been an angry person. I've been a petty ass person. And I just know that peace feels so much better. It feels so much safer. It feels so much more honest and real. So does it make it right? I don't know, but for me, it makes it better. It makes my whole life experience better. It makes my perspective on the world and on people better. And I feel better. I feel lighter. It feels better to be myself than to be worried about what everybody else is thinking about me all the time. It feels better to say what I mean and mean what I say than walking on eggshells with every fucking word and conversation I have because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or I don't want to piss anybody off or I do want to piss somebody off, you know? It's just, to me, the light side versus the dark side, it just feels better. And that doesn't mean I've said this a million times before too. You don't eliminate your shadow. Wherever there is light, there is always a shadow. You don't ever eliminate it. It's balancing it, bringing in healthy aspects. It's healing it so it can actually help you instead of hinder you. So you can tell the difference between overreacting and defending yourself. So you can actually have control of your emotions and use them when and where necessary, instead of having dysregulated emotions all over the place because you're unaware of what within you needs to be healed. The balance between the light and the dark, choosing the light side and the dark side. In the end, only cowards choose the dark side. And a Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. In the battle of these two masculines, the winner is clear and they know it. And in the battle of light and dark, the choice is yours. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah. I don't even know what I just said, honestly. I'm going to have to watch it back with you guys when I post it. It happens to me a lot. That's why I'm always like, did that make sense? Does that make, does that make, because sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. It just comes out. So I hope you got something out of this message. I really do. And if you're still with me, you already know you're a fucking real one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. You're beautiful. I love you.